I think by the time that I realized that my life was like out of control and unmanageable, I know that's step one of NA, AA, any 12-step program, realizing and admitting that your life is unmanageable. It was too late. Like, I was never in a point where I was on the streets where I could tell myself, like, man, if I keep going, this is gonna, if I don't change, this is gonna, if I don't get the help, this is, if I just had an opportunity, I could. I don't think that I ever got to that point, unfortunately. I think that it took for me. It took for me getting to the point where I realized that it was already over with. I talk about that moment a lot with my cellie asking me why I was so comfortable, and that being the realization that I had to change. But even before that realization, I had realized that my life, the way that I was living, it had destroyed me already. I didn't recognize myself. I didn't recognize the way that I thought. I didn't recognize the way that I talked. I didn't recognize the way that I treated people, the way that I thought about people, the way that, like, the lack of care for people. Like, I was raised to have a heart, and I couldn't find it. And I realized that that was the moment where everything would have been for nothing if I would have kept going. And no one made that choice for me. I just want to make this clear. No one made that choice for me. I wasn't in there thinking, I got a couple more runs in me. I can do this, I can do that. But somebody else was like, nah, you ain't gonna do that. You can't be here. You can't claim this. You can't do that. You can't say. No one made those decisions for me. I made those decisions for myself. I made the decision that this wasn't for me no more, that it had destroyed me, that I wasn't willing to live with the wreckage of my dreams, the wreckage of a life, the wreckage of everything that I thought I would be, everything I was raised to be, everything I was taught to be. I didn't want to deal with that wreckage no more. I didn't want to have to turn to drugs to cope. I didn't want to have to turn to other things to cope. I didn't want to hate what I saw in the mirror and then take that out on other people. I didn't want to be looking for myself wearing another color, looking for myself in another neighborhood, looking for myself and trying to do something to myself because I hated myself. I didn't like the idea of selling poison, that I was so comfortable with it. Back to that comfort again. So no, I didn't realize that there was a moment where I thought my old life was going to destroy me, but there was a moment where I realized that I had already lost. And I had to pick up in pieces.